looking to make extra money flipping houses. Today we will go over the basic steps to flipping and the top mistakes to avoid. So stay tuned. Hey mamas, I'm Brandy Leiden, host and founder of Mom You're Not Alone. I'm also local realtor and investor here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm going to share with you a couple personal stories of some of my flips. So this is going to teach you what to do and what not to do on flips. I usually will flip 4 to 6 houses a year. I have had some really great ones where we finished a flip in 33 days and made 20 grand in profit. Super easy flip, super easy profit, and it sold really quickly. So that's the good in this flipping. Now I'm going to share with you the not so good in the flipping, and this is what I want to prepare you guys for because they're not all great, and some mistakes to avoid. And we'll dive into more of these mistakes here in just a little bit. But on one of my flips, we had a pretty hefty budget. So purchased the house for $675, had a budget of $200,000 in rehab. The market was doing great. We were supposed to sell for $975. The market shifted. And if you are a realtor or if you are a homeowner, you have felt this shift in this market. End of 2022 and into 2023. Well, number one, we went over budget. This was probably one of the biggest flips and the biggest rehab budgets that we've had. We always have a category of overage. And I will not stress this enough. You need a category of overage. But sometimes we'll put 10% in there for overage. I would recommend bumping that up and doing 20% in overage because I did not do that, and this is what happened. So we did not have enough overage. We went over on the rehab budget. We put the thing on the market, so we're gonna have a little less profit, margin than we expected. But not only are we gonna have a little less, the market has shifted. And so now we have this overpriced house that we really don't wanna drop the price on, and it's not selling, sitting on the market. So I want to encourage you guys to price the house right, but you also need to know you could potentially go into a shifting market at any point, and so you really need to be tight with that budget. Okay, so back to personal story. So here we sit on the market, we do a price drop, small price drop, we do another price drop, and we have holding costs, okay? So this is what a lot of you guys don't think about. You have monthly holding costs. This one was hefty, about $5,000 in holding costs. And so this house has sat on the market for a year. You guys do the math. What is 5,000 times 12? 60,000 in holding cost. That is brutal. We finally dropped the price. We've done these amazing listing videos, and the house is getting a lot of action now. If I could go back and redo this, I would absolutely drop the price, get the thing sold. I would have had 30,000 less in holding cost and probably come out ahead on the profit. So we'll dive into tips for how to flip and mistakes to avoid in flipping houses. So let's dive in. So the first thing I want to talk about, number one, is you want to become a pro at doing a deal analysis. And you're probably thinking, what is a deal analysis? So you need to know how much you can sell the house for after you rehab it, all right? So you have a purchase price, and then you're gonna have a rehab cost, and then you need to know you're gonna wanna partner with a local realtor. So if you do not have a local realtor, call me, message me, be glad to help you out on that. So you're gonna also need to start educating yourself with what things cost. So you can do a walkthrough on a property and be able to fill out a rehab spreadsheet. So let's go into that a little bit more. So rehab spreadsheet would be something like we're gonna do a Google sheet or an Excel spreadsheet, and we're gonna have categories. So we're gonna have, basic things like flooring, kitchen cabinets, roof if you need any roof repairs, and you're gonna have categories, bathroom 1, bathroom 2, things like that. So you're gonna go through all of those categories and you're going to make an estimate on what you think. So when you're walking through the property, you've got to be familiar with what things cost. Our number 2 thing is going to be we are going to want to partner up with subcontractors, all right? So you want a team of subcontractors that you can count on that will be there when you need them. Say, hey, I've got a flip coming up in 30 days. I need your help. So whether that's separate people, whether that's one guy that handles the whole crew, or you have a flooring guy and you have a cabinet guy and you have a painter, that kind of thing. You're going to want to partner up with some subcontractors. And by doing that and building those relationships, you are going to familiarize yourself with the prices of things, okay? So a house that's 2,000 square feet, you're going to know it's going to cost me this much to do paint, interior paint. Flooring, you're going to say, okay, if I'm doing LVP, you can buy it at $3 a square foot and my guy will install it for $5 a square foot. You'll know. You walk through a 2,000 square foot house, then you're $10,000 in flooring, okay? So that's kind of how that goes on the the rehab spreadsheet. The next thing we're going to want to do, so number one, we want to be able to do a deal analysis, and that's multi-level. Number two, we want to partner with subcontractors, build your team. And number three, you want to partner with a lender. So if you do not have cash for these properties, which most of us don't have cash to throw at every house we do, you're going to partner with a lender. So this lender needs to be able to finance the investment property. And most of the time, depending on who the lender is, if this is an investment property for you, not your primary residence, it's going to require 20% down. Sometimes more. Banks are locking down a little bit, so that might be 20 to 30% down. Partner up with your lender. There's a lot of lenders out there that will do rehab loans, flip loans, okay? So you're going to have purchase price, you're going to have rehab price, and you're going to add those together, and you're going to put 20 or 30% down of the total cost. And then they're going to basically finance your rehab for you. And then you would do draws. So you would get a little bit in. You've done flooring, you've done this, and then you'll request a draw and get that money to pay yourself back. So that's one way of doing it, but definitely partner up with that lender. We talked about the basics of getting started on that. Now, if you don't have a realtor, you're gonna need a realtor to help you find some of these deals. I would recommend getting involved with some of the investing groups. There's plenty probably in your city. The MLS is one source of getting deals, but you're probably gonna need to meet some wholesalers to get those off-market deals. And then there's a lot of people that will mail. They'll drive for dollars is what they call it. So if you're driving around and you see a property that's distressed, landscaping's grown up, it doesn't look like anyone lives there, jot down the address, look it up in tax records, call, mail the homeowner something, and try to purchase that home. So that's driving for dollars and looking for those off-market deals. Now, a couple of top mistakes that we want to avoid. Number one is going to be going over on your rehab budget, okay? That is probably the top mistake that flippers do. You can have done this for years, or this could be your first flip and this could happen to you. And so that really eats into your profit. So let's say, for example, you are buying a $100,000 house and you have calculated that you need $40,000 in rehab, and you end up with $50,000 in rehab. So your $20,000 margin, profit that you are going to make is now 10. Then you list it and you could possibly not get what you wanted. You could get 5,000 less than asking. And so now your 20,000 has gone down to 10, it's gone down to 5, and your 90 to 120 days of work is worth 5,000. So you've really got to nail in that budget and stick to it. And I would say the second top mistake would be picking out higher end finishes than the house needs. For example, we have a $100,000 to $200,000 house. Those are going to be different finishes than our $400,000 to $500,000 house, and so on. And so you just need to know in that zip code that you're working, in the price range of the house that you bought to flip. Look through some Zillow pictures. Look if you're partnering with a realtor, look through some MLS pictures and see what the finishes are in those price ranges if you're not familiar. That way we do not go overboard on our finishes. All right. So number one, don't go over budget on your rehab spreadsheet. Number two, do not go overboard, higher end finishes than the house needs. Number three, sticking to your timeline. And timeline's important because time is money, right? So we want to stick to that timeline. Biggest advice I have from prior experience would be laying out a plan, buying your materials ahead of time so that you have everything ready for your subcontractors, and sticking to a timeline, holding these subcontractors accountable to this is what we're going to accomplish this week. This is what's next, and so on and so forth, so that you can hit those timeline goals. All right, guys, hopefully this was helpful. If you would like some more information about flipping, feel free to reach out to me, DM me. If you love this video, please subscribe to @BrandyLyden on YouTube. And lastly, I want to invite you guys to our Facebook group, Mom, You're Not Alone. This Facebook group is going to provide you guys with a lot of great resources, vendors, and just a community of support. So if you haven't joined that Facebook group, I personally invite you to, because Mom, you're not alone.